Would you take your newborn to two Thanksgivings on Thanksgiving Day? Well, that is exactly the situation that this mom wrote about. She said, "This will be our first Thanksgiving as a family. In the past, we've gone to both our parents on the same day. Yes, two Thanksgiving meals. We've always enjoyed celebrating with both sides of our family, but I'm not looking forward to it this year with our newborn. We'd be up to going to maybe one side of our family, but how do you choose without creating drama? Would it be awful if we just stayed home?" Well, if we haven't hung out before, my name is Brianna. I'm a fellow mom and money coach, and here we talk about all things real money and real life. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. So I do think that this can be a situation that a lot of other moms can relate to, especially if has been the normal experience for you to go to both families on the same holiday. Now, when you have a newborn, now that you're going through such a major life event and huge life change, I think this is a great time to reestablish what does the future look like for you and to set new expectations with both sides of your family. Now, you did question how could I do this without creating family drama? I think the first thing is, of course, to communicate and communicate and communicate and over communicate, right? To set this expectation way ahead of Thanksgiving Day so everyone knows what's happening, what's on board, and they can readjust their expectations for what the future looks like for this current holiday as well as future Thanksgivings. But I do just want to caveat that with some families will create drama where there isn't drama just to have drama. So if you're in one of those families, you know what I'm talking about. Like the type of drama where there will be some major dramatic event about the fact that you decided to bring potatoes to Thanksgiving dinner when you usually bring a salad, right? Like some families are just that way. It's just like the culture of the family. But if your family is not like that, or if you don't want to create that type of culture, just be aware that even if there is drama around your decision, you need to make the best decision for your own unique individual family. Like you are now a parent and your responsibility is to your child and to creating the best environment for your child. And sometimes that means creating the best thing for you so that way you can be the best protector and caregiver to your child. So if you don't want to go to Thanksgiving at all, I do think that in a way that does create fairness between both families, but just set that precedent ahead of time. Now, I actually had a friend that also had a newborn right around Thanksgiving, and she set the expectation with her family that she was like, "Hey, we just had a newborn. We don't know how we're going to feel." And it was this the expectation was like, we might show up, we might not show up. We're going to decide the day of, and it's going to come down to our last minute decision. And because of the culture of the family that she was in, it was very much a, hey, come when you can, leave when you want to. If it doesn't work out, fine. Like everyone does what they can for the best part of their family that works for them. And so it wasn't a big deal in her family because that was the culture of her extended family. And I think that is really great if you can if you are at the point where we're just going to decide the day of, let your family, let the extended families know that, okay, this isn't something that we have against you. It is going to be very dependent on our newborn and how we're feeling. Now, for future years, if you're looking ahead and you're like, well, I do think that we would be up to maybe going to one side of the family, which you did express in your question, then I think it's helpful to, even though we can't really predict the future, I do think it's really good to project what we think may be possible or realistic in the future. So if you are already at the point where you know, like, hey, I don't want to be going to two holidays on the same day. Like you just know that's going to be way too much for you. This is a really great time to establish okay, what does that make sense for you and your family looking ahead? Now, some different moms that I've talked to, there's different ways that they approach this with their extended families. Some moms, like for me, my family, we don't live right next to both of our families. So there's a different expectation with both sides of our families because there's different variables. But if you do live next to your family and within traveling distance, that does make it reasonable, which it sounds like it is for you to go to both. One thing that you could offer to both sides of your family is the possibility of having Thanksgiving not on Thanksgiving Day, where it would allow you to go to both Thanksgiving dinners, maybe within the course of a couple of days of each other, and you can be at both events. But if there's also a situation where you're like, okay, our families always get together on Thanksgiving Day, it's not realistic for us in the future, for this year and future years, to be at both, which family are you going to prioritize? And in some cases, there are, I know of some moms where it's like, okay, we are going to prioritize this one side of our family for Thanksgiving, and we'll prioritize the other side of our family for Christmas Day. And if it works out that we get to go to both things with both families, great. But then you accommodate whichever family has the priority for that holiday. Now, some families might be just like, no, it's really important for us and our extended relatives that our holiday is Thanksgiving and we all get together on Thanksgiving. Whereas maybe your other side of your family is just like, Thanksgiving's not that big of a deal to us. Some other holiday is more important. So whichever extended family has the higher priority on certain holidays, you could say, okay, we are always going to prioritize that family for that holiday, and then we will deprioritize the other family for that holiday because that holiday isn't quite as important to that extended family as another one. So there are different ways that you could go about, changing the expectation for this year and future years when it comes to holidays. Now, another thing to keep in mind is this is your newborn and this is this is their first Thanksgiving. So just be aware that your extended family may be really excited to see you. It may not necessarily be the fact that, oh, it's Thanksgiving, you have to be here. It could also be paired a lot with, we're really excited to see you and your newborn, and especially if there's extended family that are going to be in town or available for Thanksgiving because your newborn is there. So I think having this is why I say I think it's really important to have this discussion way ahead of time, so that way everyone can have realistic understanding and expectation of what the holiday will look like. Some families, as soon as a new person is born, they arrange a family event so that way they can update, the family tree pictures and get everybody involved, especially if there's a very senior relative, to make sure that there's a good picture of the genealogy and the generations of the history of your family. So that could be a factor. Maybe that's something that you take in mind to determine which family you're going to prioritize. But other families, it just might be like, hey, we're excited to see your newborn. Maybe this is the first opportunity that they're getting a chance to meet your newborn. So I think it really depends on those variables might need to be a factor of your decision that I just kind of want to bring to light. I do just want to encourage you to make the best decision for you and your individual family, especially your newborn, now that you are a parent. And just keep in mind that throughout your parenting journey, you're never going to make everyone happy, especially extended family and relatives. So do what is best for you, and also communicate that to other people in a very thoughtful, kind, but also firm way. That way you can establish really good boundaries, expectations while you're going through this holiday and all future holidays. If you're looking for a really good resource about establishing healthy boundaries, I'll link up a book that I absolutely love in the show notes for you. I will also try to get the audio version down there as well, because as a mom, I don't have time to sit down and read a book. Are you kidding me? But with the audio version, I know, I can have it playing on the background while I'm doing some other chore or activity. So I will link both options there for you. But I would love to hear other moms' comments or thoughts or experiences on this situation. Let us know if there's something else that maybe I haven't thought of that might be really helpful, or just share your individual experience. If you had to go through this, or if you're currently going through this holiday, I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. But Until we hang out again, create a home your heart loves.